Having effect. Okay. Yeah, we here now. Hey man, welcome back to another year, man.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, everybody here. Everybody's on.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, man?
We
Yeah.
hear you just fine.
Cutting out.
No, you sound great. I hear Coy. I hear Philly Red Zone, and hopefully y'all hear me.
I hear you.
Yo,
Philly, you hear me? Okay.
T.
I guess we good then. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Mic check.
Philly.
Philly Red Zone. We see him.
Yep, but there you go. He's finna say something because his mic just lit up.
Philly.
Yep, he just left.
He's gonna try to jump in. So yeah, as y'all can see, we are live. We're on 401 Sports World Network on YouTube. So just make sure you type 411 Sports World Network on YouTube and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Co from the Low, and make sure you subscribe to the Nard Report. Make sure you do those three there. Um, and for me, this is a rebrand, rebirth, if you will, of my YouTube page. So I'm I'm in that starting over phase. So everybody who did in the past, please be sure to go back and hit the subscribe. We're almost at 100,000 views already, which is great. But we need to get them subscribers back up and rolling like it once was in the glory days. So help me out there, and it's greatly appreciated. Now today we're going to talk, as you can see on the screen, college sports and NIL. And with me, as you see on the screen, there is our head college football analyst, Coy. So what's going on, man?
What's happening? What's happening? We just it's getting ready for a new season. As a guy that I used to listen to all the time say, it's getting close to the time when toe meets leather. So let's get it going.
Hey, it's right here, man. It's right around the block. And Philly Red Zone, you with us?
Yeah, I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we got you, brother.
We
All
got you.
right,
We
cool.
hear you.
Yeah, man.
Perfect time. Introduce
Yeah.
yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing? It's Philly Red Zone, aka Bird Gang.
I see you already showing off the ring.
Yeah, man. I mean, not too many franchises, you know, have the modern rings. So, figure I'm showing what it's.
Oh man, he was just.
AKA everybody want to hate on your quarterback for some reason.
Oh man, Jalen Hurt. Yeah, we got to talk about that soon. Oh, we get into that one too, Quay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. But man, Philly Red Zone, we just lost him, but he'll be back. Get that reconnect going. We'll get him back on here. Uh, but today's topic: college sports and NIL. So let's talk about it, Coy. With the college sports NIL, just give a little quick overview, and then we'll dive into it. So there's the House versus NCAA settlement. So there we have a lot of things from that settlement where the colleges are now paying players. It's being paid to play, and then we also have the NIL, which we talked about in the past. But in particular, the way the NCAA, I mean, they're now NCAA, college football, college programs can pay their athletes if they choose. Now, of course, there's some parameters around that. We'll dive into that. Anything initially that y'all want to say about it?
Mm,
I mean,
well,
personally, I agree with it. I mean, they should have been paying the players decades ago. I mean, because you go all the way back to South Carolina stud running back Lattimore, where his knee up. I mean, the kid uh, was pretty much a bowl game away from being a top top 10 pick, and
no,
he
top
tore his
five
knee
at
up, and
least.
then top five. Okay, yeah, I mean, and he tore his knee up, and then that was that. And nobody know where he is. Hopefully, he's doing good for himself. But I mean, it's
Last time
just
I checked,
it's
he's coaching.
Okay. Yeah. But at
I
least
mean,
Say
he's
his
still
coach.
in the game.
yeah, I mean, at least it's not the same as generational wealth. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
obviously, and him being a top five projected pick, he, he would likely, if you fast forward him into 2025, would be getting paid millions of dollars to play college football.
Yeah. Yeah. Him, the late Terrell Pryor, you got Maurice Claret, you got Willie McGinnis, even though he was able to go pro. I mean, all those guys from the U. You could run down any and every college program from the years of USC with Reggie Bush and Lindell White, with what they went through trying to maintain a good college standing at the same time. They watching the coaches and the administration and all these athletic directors getting paid hundreds of thousands if not millions of dollars. They building new buildings on their back because they got a top program and all the boosters is paying the money. But they can't even buy a pack of noodles, without being getting cited under NCAA regulations. So it goes all the way back to the Pony Express. I mean, we can go back, man, decades and decades of great athletes, both football, basketball. Mainly the sports that had melanated, players that was affected. You know, because I mean, I don't think it was under scrutiny when they had golf programs and those kids getting clubs and sponsorships and hockey programs. They don't talk about that. But anything that had melanated people, they're gonna talk about it and put so many eyes on it, to make their life harder and disqualify, and it was just unfair. So I'm glad these kids are getting paid, and I think they should go all the way back. I mean, the Ed O'Bannons of the world, him and his brother, they were some of the guys that spearheaded after that UCLA run that they went and made it to the Final Four or whatever they made it to back
Mhm.
then.
Okay,
side note, you sure it's melanated or is it the fact that revenue impacting sports?
I think it's both. I think it's both. I
Oh, okay.
mean,
Well,
yeah,
I
it's
yeah,
both.
yeah. See, me, I think it's more about the money, but it's also is a little bit of that in it, just off of just some systematic issues with this country in itself. But I think it has more to do with money and those that can get the money don't like giving up the money. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it makes sense. It don't. It to me, it made sense, but it don't make sense because I mean, the athletes on the field, they're bringing them the revenue in. They're driving the ticket sales. They're driving the jersey sales. They can see a person with their jersey on, their college number, and they have zero revenue or zero anything to show for it. If they sign that shirt, or jersey, they was violating NCAA rules.
right,
You had
definitely.
kids.
Well,
I
they
mean,
could
you had
sign it, but they couldn't get anything for it.
exactly,
Now,
but then you had
now,
kids that was that was doing that stuff for tattoos and just trying to find ways to
yeah,
feel
they were
like they
hustling. They were
accomplished.
hustling.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were hustling. Now, what it see for us looking at it, we have a moral standard that we live
Hmm.
by. But you
Yeah.
got to remember when you start dealing with people that are dealing with super large sums of money, I always remember like this. Why does a billionaire need another dollar? Because he wants one, right?
absolutely.
So these schools, when they started creating these TV deals and these absorbent amount of millions of dollars, there were it could have easily started champion spreading the money down. Because I mean, most of the we're all from the age 50. We're all from the we're 90s. We're 90 kids, right? 80s, 90s little kids, 80s, 90s, whatever. And that we came along when the leagues and the football really started making money. The television revenues, the competing, the conferences, all the stuff that went
Hmm.
into that. And what we saw was it went from these bowls giving millions to 2 millions. Then it went from these conferences you may signing these $100 million contracts or whatever. But what we never saw in this process was anything going back to the kids. Now, understood. I do understand the facilities got better as the money got going on. Medical staff, lot, jerseys, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's almost like they give a rapper a new car and tell them they're good. You know what I'm saying? They gave them all the shiny stuff, but none of the stuff that was to sustain them for all the
Money.
lifelong. Right. So I'm not shocked and agree that they should have a system of payment, but I fall on two sides of that, and then there's the I always have a problem when the wolf decides how to protect the sheep.
Well, Corey, let's the NCAA, right, is NCAA versus the House settlement. So the way NCAA was running their business prior to this, right? It was players get a scholarship, right? That's what the athlete was fighting so hard to get, right? But just going back in time was to fight for that scholarship to be on a NCAA, roster so you can go to school. That used to be the big drive. And of course, those who are, super talented had dreams, aspirations of, okay, I go play college because I do well here. I'm going to improve my draft status into the professional level. And we're talking about the revenue generated type sports to get there. Um, but now it's changed, right?
But also always remember the NCAA is not the schools, it's a quote unquote enforcement
Right.
um entity. So me personally, they've lost their power over the new. They're just trying to find a way to resecure the power that they lost during this new NIL era. So once the NIL era began,
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't. They no longer was enforcing. There was nothing for them to really enforce anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, let's explain to people what the NIL is real quick. Name, image, and likeness. That's where a player, an athlete, student athlete can make money off of their name, their image, and their likeness. Going back to what Philly Rizzo was saying about players going back trying to sell tattoos to make money because they couldn't see their jerseys are in the they're in the what they call that at school where you buy your books and all that, the bookstore. They might see their
Yeah.
jersey in there, but they can't make no money off that jersey, but the school could.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's when we
And
talk
that's
about NIL. That's what we're talking about there when we get the NIL. What you say,
yeah.
Philly?
No, what I was saying is, I mean, you know, I wish it was a way that they could retroact. I mean, you got guys like Barkley. I mean, they sold a lot of Barkley jerseys in Penn State. Didn't get a dime from that. He was the number one athlete in the country.
Yeah.
That when he was at his height at Penn State. And it's a lot of them, man. It's a lot of those guys.
Oh, it's an
You know,
endless
one,
list.
yeah, Sean Alexander when he was with Alabama. I mean, them 37 jerseys selling like hotcakes, man.
Well, I wonder how many Herschel Walker jerseys were sold.
Yeah, yeah.
Bo
I mean,
Jackson, Deion
yep.
Sanders. I mean,
And we just talking football. Let's
yeah.
go basketball. Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine how
You
many
know?
MJ jerseys or Worthy jerseys or Ewan? Uh,
Yeah.
you know, Pistol Pete. If you want to go back to his
Hmm.
day, so.
Yeah.
Um,
Bird and
but that's what
Magic.
we.
I mean, you name it.
Oh man, there you go. But that's what we're talking about when we say NIL. So the players could make money that way. But gentlemen, isn't that's a whole nother separate thing from this house settlement, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So players can make money off their name, image, and likeness, meaning player X is on a team. Player X can start their podcast. They can start selling this or that, or
It's
get
I
or
think
get
it's
with a
got
local
all kind of
dealership and start, getting paid to sponsor that dealership or whatever, right? Or a product. And that's one way to make money. But this other way with this house settlement is the universities will have an allotted amount of money to spend on their rosters. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we feel about that? How do we feel about this that part of the settlement?
I don't like socialism.
Yeah,
I don't like
yeah. It's gonna be
socialism.
a lot of Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of favoritism, a lot of backdooring. You got these ads and these coaches gonna find loopholes, you know,
Hmm.
and then they're gonna then they're gonna dangle that carrot. It's another carrot dangling operation,
Oh,
and they trying to take the power away from the athlete.
Exactly.
Soon,
Because part
soon,
of that
soon they
house
gonna have
settlement, they
grades.
oh, go
No,
ahead.
because if
go
I'm
ahead, finish up, man. Go ahead, you got it.
because it's soon, because also if I'm not mistaken, they got to start uh keeping tabs with the NCAA about the NIL deals.
Over is it over $600 or something like that? I was reading somewhere in there.
Yes.
That's all got to be reported, and it's going to be
Why?
overseen.
Why?
Taxes.
They ain't gonna do
Taxes.
NCAA ain't paying no
Yep.
taxes.
Are they?
NCAA ain't
Yeah,
paying
they're
not
not
one
for profit.
taxes.
So
Yeah,
why is it 600 then? Why is it
not profit.
$600 on that? That they're gonna
Because they're,
that they have they're saying they have to have somebody account for that over 600. I'm just
it's
curious.
also because
First of
there's go ahead,
all,
Philly.
it's not gonna be. It's
Oh, oh,
pretty much under
eh,
non for profit status, so they're not going to be hit with the taxes, but they can sanction you
oh,
know, and that's the trend now. It's a whole kid.
oh, I think we lost Philly.
Yeah, you just lost them.
Yeah. Did you hear what he was
But
saying? Can you
yeah,
translate
he
it?
was saying that they're trying to basically hold the kid accountable for the taxes and everything else, but they still gonna reap the benefits off the top of it, which is why I feel some kind of way about the NCAA now.
Yeah.
Because in some ways, these kids have to go out there and get their own deals,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Man, that,
now the NCAA jumps in on the back end and says, "Well, anything over $600, we got to report to you, and we'll make sure that you pay your proper taxes." Blah 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 blah. And you know what they're gonna do? They gonna scoop their little bit off for the processing part of it.
I'm laughing because that's what's gonna happen.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And realistically, the kid's still gonna be responsible for having an accountant or someone or CPA to worry about his money because the NCAA is not gonna worry about the Jordan tax. Y'all familiar with the Jordan tax, right?
And what's that? Is that the job? I don't know
When
what do you mean by that.
when you play in another city outside your state,
Oh
they
yeah, the
start
job tax.
charging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the job tax. Yeah.
it's written in Jordan. Yeah, but that's gonna so you best believe
Oh,
as altruistic as they're sounding, you best believe these states and these state governments are going to start coming to these kids for money with these NIL deals to get
Yep.
these little municipalities. They'll be like, you can come in
Mm-hmm.
my city and make an X amount. You know what I'm saying?
And
wow.
if I'm those kids and I'm representing them, what I would do, I would look at the schedule, all my non-state tax and local tax states you play in. Only so you'll play in only federal tax-based states like Texas, Georgia, you name it, that don't have state and local tax, you play.
Well, now
Any state and local tax you sit out.
jumping in a whole nother
I
thing.
mean, that's the way that's and it's gonna be petty like that because now you're gonna have, like you said, you have local cities, state, municipal reaching out to these kids, hitting them with letters. These kids, most of their money is gonna be eaten up by the tax man,
Exactly.
and the tax man
So
is
like
Oh
undefeated.
yeah.
Nobody on my
Yeah.
Everybody
it's gonna
talks
get
about
bad
Canada,
real quick. You know.
but everybody talks about Canada, but people don't realize places like New York, you're paying a city,
Mm-hmm.
a county,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
state.
Yep.
Wow.
North Carolina, city,
And
local, state, and federal.
mhm,
So basically, basically these athletes, especially ones that's going to be making a lot of money. Oh, I'm sorry. So
mhm.
a lot of these athletes that are making going to be making the ones, the special ones making this buku money. They're gonna have to put together a whole team, just like if you was in the pros, because
You got to count.
you're gonna need
That's what I'm saying.
somebody.
You're gonna have to hire your CPA. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
it's now it is understandable. I mean,
Uh-huh.
hate to be mean about it, but if you can't handle the ills of having that money, because there is a certain level of you got $1 million, you got to manage $1 million, whichever way you choose to
Yeah.
do it. It may cost you
Yep.
money because you can't figure out that stuff yourself. Because guess what? If me, you, or anybody else come with a large sum of money, we have to figure out everything involved in it so we can keep this money. So I don't
Right.
really.
Yep.
It's the price of doing business per se. You're gonna if you're not equipped to do it, then you're gonna have to find somebody to do it. That's
Right.
not that part. I'm not gonna complain about it because at the end of the day, if I'm making a insane amount of money, I gotta understand because there's always such thing as the Bible says. You got to give Caesar his due.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It's gonna happen. So you know it's coming. He's coming. So now if you can handle it yourself, fine. Your mother, uncle, auntie, or someone like that can. But it comes with the celebrity and the money. You just now we can't have it to think that you're just gonna get all this money and it's just gonna be worry free. It don't happen that way.
Right. More money, more problems.
Nah, though.
Exactly.
Yep.
But what I think me and Philly are saying is let's be fair to this. Unlike a professional team, these kids are actually playing for most of the time state funded schools,
Yep.
right? And they're
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
bringing revenue to the state funded school, but yet y'all want to play shiesty games with them because they're getting paid. Well, guess what? Every time that head coach come to XY, every time Saban or whoever or any of them come to a town, you don't play these stunts now, but now all of a sudden you're gonna do it with the kids. Every time that president go out of town there to a conference, you're not hitting him with a tax bill because he's doing business in your town.
Mm.
You follow me?
Exactly.
Now, yeah, and how can they? Well, wow, this is interesting because yeah, this is a game changer. But just kind of a brief overview of opting into this deal, right? It says, and I'm writing down a couple of key things that I would love for you guys to help break down with me. But initially, Division 1 schools, so keep that in mind. Division 1 schools that opt in must comply to the House settlement. All right, the model allows Division 1 schools to pay a portion of their revenue directly to student athletes, with $20 million as the cap for the first year, which is this year, 25 to 26, and the pool cap increases annually over a 10-year term, reaching a projected 32.9 million by 2034-35. So that's kind of
Mhm.
like if you opt in, and then if
Where
you
does
opt
it?
out,
Where's wait? What? First of all, where's the pool come from?
well, let's see the pool cap. I mean, that's the agreement. So I'm assuming that means that in this agreement, your cap for your school is going to be $20 million
So, but
that you
the
can
money
pay your
comes from
parents with.
but the money comes from my school anyway.
Yeah, yeah,
So you telling me how much money of my money I can spend?
right. That's the
Mm.
way it's reading to me. And then it says schools that choose to opt out will be bound by the existing NCAA rules and the involving framework of the state legislation, as well as compliance with Title IX, and other things like that.
So if
So
I
it's
opt out, I can go to my state legislation and we can create our own damn rules.
right. So yeah, if you opt out, I don't know if you heard that part, Red Zone, but if you opt out, this House versus uh, NCAA settlement,
Hmm.
then you'll be bounded to the existing NCAA rules and involving framework of state legislation, as well as compliance with Title IX and
That's
But
other
crazy.
also,
regulatory
I think
authorities.
there was somewhere in there that said that they were going to be pooling the money to conference and kind of spread it around, right?
Yeah, but you got to
Okay.
spend this year. I mean, your cap is 20 million. Let's just talk this season, right? The cap's gonna be 20 million. So in other words, each school gonna have a cap.
But also, so what it boils down to is if you are a money making program and you join on sign you opt in,
Yeah.
you're basically killing your resource you're trimming your resources down,
Hmm.
right? And why would I do that?
Exactly.
That's a great. That's a great question. I mean,
Now, I understand if I'm a school that would love to jump in and get some of that pool money that's been dispersed out to help my program out. I understand it. Because if I have the $22 million anyway, I don't. I mean, you're just holding me back.
well, maybe you're gonna play this now, but as you know, for now, you'll play nice now if you're one of those schools.
Okay.
Until down the
Georgia,
line, you
Texas,
break off
Alabama.
and do your
Let's
own.
go. Let's go. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Michigan.
Yep.
Who else, Philly? Who else?
Ohio State. Did you
Oh
say them?
man, Ohio
Ohio State.
State. We
Ohio
got
State.
USC. We got Mississippi.
USC, not so much because it's in Cali, because it's in Los Angeles. So, I mean, they have money, but it ain't like the rest of them guys because of the sheer fact that it's just so damn expensive to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah, but
you just stay. You could
Texas.
just stay in the Sun Belt. All the Sun Belt schools.
Texas. Go ahead, and throw Texas Tech in there, right? Because
yeah,
they got a.
any Texas school,
Okay.
any believe it or
You
not,
know,
any SEC
uh,
school except for
Van.
how's
Vanderbilt.
it cut?
Yeah.
Because
So
people
Yeah,
don't
it,
because
realize,
Vanderbilt
people
is
don't
in
realize,
like Tennessee, right?
yeah, it's
it's
private
in
school.
Tennessee. It's in Nashville. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in
Yeah.
Nashville. Oh, I'll wait till he come back.
Okay.
We'll tell him that it's in Nashville when he come back. Oh, that was quite
I'm
a drop.
here.
My bad.
Yeah, it just this platform is just dropping, man, left and right, bro.
Hmm.
But
Oh man, hey, they don't
yeah,
want
I
us to
mean
talk about
it's
it, man. It's the NCAA, man. They don't want
yeah,
us to talk about this, man. Yeah, that's what that
yeah.
is.
Look, but if Vandy is it doesn't have the it doesn't have the power push behind like Ole Miss. Mississippi has some of the most rich millionaires in the country. But you would
Hmm.
think, but Mississippi is a poor state. But that damn team gets money.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
see what I'm saying? And
Both
likewise, is Alabama.
Mississippi, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State.
You got it. You see what I'm
right.
saying?
You know, Arkansas. I mean, you got the Razorbacks. I
Hmm.
mean, they still putting out solid teams. Basketball
They got money
wise.
behind them, but that's my
E-
point.
even
So
if even if even football.
Yeah,
yeah,
money. But
Yeah.
then that's where it leads to the haves and the have-nots at some point. So, like this
right.
20 million cap, this 20 million cap for now, that's nothing for some of these programs. But
Yeah.
as it starts increasing, you're gonna start having some separation going on here, some serious separation.
Yep. Yeah, I
As
mean, and you got some programs. I mean, they got the backing, they got the boosters, they got everybody that can help,
Hmm.
funnel that money to the top players, and the players know it,
Exactly.
and then I mean to double back with the tax game. Now you're gonna have advisors say, yeah, no, don't go to St. John, I mean, because you're gonna be subject to all the New York State
yeah,
tax. Go play in Virginia.
Hmm.
Go and play here. I mean,
yeah,
they're gonna have their list of schools that they're gonna segregate because of the money
mm-hmm,
factor, and their tax implications. I mean, hell, it's hard for me to move back to the East Coast because I don't want to pay all the taxes. I make more money being in the South.
yeah,
I
Bingo.
mean, and that's just on on the scale that I'm on. you talking about multi-million dollars, man. I mean, golly, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta they're gonna you're gonna be playing a different type of game, you know.
Yes. And that's where we at, man. This is, and it's so appropriate that you said that because that's what this is. This is what it's becoming, a different type of game. So, in that first section, we talked about the opting in and opting out, Division One schools, and just for instance, I was reading that the SWAC, Southwest Atlantic Conference, they decided as a conference, I think, to opt in. So they're going to do it as a conference. Now that's a smaller conference. It's Division One, but
Mhm.
it's definitely not the size of the schools that we was naming a few minutes ago. So, how do you think a conference like that, also like you mentioned, Sun Conference, and other mid-major conferences? I mean, how can they make this really work?
Very
It's a
simple.
resource
TV
game.
deals. Yeah,
Yep.
TV deals, stadiums,
Yep.
concessions, and
Yeah.
apparel.
Yep.
I hope they're listening.
Yeah.
Because, like, for
Yeah.
example, we already know that certain players, certain athletes now, I mean, there's no way they're really going to go play outside of the ones that we named earlier because that's where all the money at.
Yeah.
But this is the new. This is you forgetting part about the new norm.
Okay.
There's no room for college freshmen anymore because of the transport portal.
Hmm.
Oh man, we got to add that in too.
Because you got all
Yeah.
see people forget that. Whereas you got yes, we hear this 5 stars, and there's always going to be a place for the 5 stars. It's like they say, it's going to always be a place for LeBron. It's always going to when they went straight to the pros, right?
Right.
LeBron, KG, um,
Kobe, T Mac,
even T Max, even the bus, even some of those busts that came along that year when it was Curry.
Eddie Curry,
Um,
and Tyson
yeah, but there's
Chandler.
always there's always going to be those.
Craig Oden.
But then look at those same drafts. There's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of other ones that didn't go. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those kids are going now. It's the reality is what we may not like. You may have to go to quote what town TJ calls a mid major. You may not. I just say you may not go to your preferred school,
Hmm.
and you go to another school, and then you may double back to your preferred school. It is what it is. Now, I mean, if Jack State or South Carolina State get
Yep.
a kid that's all world in as a freshman, and he has the goods, and he sticks around for a year or two, and push all that momentum in your program, and then he decides to go to another school because he wants a limelight. Everybody wins, even though you might be mad like he turned his back on y'all, but when he was here, he brought the attention. And the other thing is he brought the mindset that if you come here and you do your thing, you will be seen,
Hmm.
which means you may not create you see what I'm saying? So
Basically, a
uh,
developmental league
no, no,
theory,
no, not
right?
developmental. I don't want to say developmental because it may not be good that you be out there for you. It's not developmental. It's just that because with the transfer portal now, kids they're not freshmen have unless you're one of one type kids, you're not going to get that scholarship with that money behind it as quick
Yep.
because you're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's
Because they're
that's
not going.
that's
They're
their
not going to waste the roster spot on a non blue chip freshman and pay them all
Right.
that money just to sit the bench.
that's,
That's a waste. A waste of resource.
Yeah.
yeah. It's very. I mean, why spend money on an unknown commodity?
Yeah.
So that
And
well, so like that. So you're going to see. So the other like the mid majors are more be more of a quote unquote proving ground there, or to show where another pool of talent is that these
you
other
keep
schools
saying
don't
mid
come in and
majors.
swoop in. They're
You
gonna swoop
keep
in and buy
saying
them out.
you keep saying mid majors.
Yeah,
Unless you one of
Mercy.
10 schools, unless you one of 10 schools, you must be consider yourself a mid major.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you at a school like, you know, Bowling Green or something, I'm just
Should we
saying, like, if
explain?
you're
Should we
there,
explain this to TJ so
if
Mr. 411 so
if
he
you're there,
understand? If you're not Texas, if you're
Hmm.
not Alabama, if you're not Georgia, if you're not Ohio State, if you're not Michigan sometimes, if you're not LSU, pretty much the top 10 programs, you are a mid major in this game. Just being honest with you.
Yeah.
so
There's only going to be about 10 teams,
what
and
I would call,
they still have to worry about roster spots.
yes, and I would call
Yep.
those the elitists. I would call those the elitists, but they're still going to be like, for example, a player is at Bowling Green, and then they get swooped up by Michigan State. You see what I'm saying? Because Michigan State got way more than Bowling Green got, or something along those lines. That's what I was
Maybe.
that's what I'm looking at too. Like players may leave a they may leave a Grambling and then go to um, Texas Tech.
But let me explain something. If I get my NI, if I'm tearing it up at Grambling and I get an NIL, right? I get
Yeah.
my money from somebody, a national brand or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And unless I can go to one of those quote unquote, I just say 10 because I don't want to, because it can
Yeah, I got
fluctuate.
you.
We'll say 20. We'll say 20 teams, 15,
Yeah,
whatever you want to say.
yeah, I
Unless
know
I
which
can go to
one.
one of those teams,
Hmm.
Grambling, if I go move my ass to Vanderbilt, right? Well, not Vanderbilt because it's in the SEC. But if I go move to another quote unquote you call a bigger program,
Yeah,
but ain't offering me, they really ain't offering me no more, I might as well stay where I'm at and make my money. That's why I specifically said, unless you're one of those 10 teams that have more money than God, it don't matter.
Yeah.
and everybody can't play on those rosters either. I mean, not there's only so many slots, right?
Well, according to them, they're talking about getting rid of roster slots. So now you got a whole nother animal.
Okay, bingo. Here we go. For example, NCAA rules previously limited Division One programs to 85 full scholarships,
Mhm.
but put no limit on roster numbers. Under the House settlement, a school football team that opts in can only have 105 players on the roster. So now
They
they're
pick up 20.
saying
They
that's
pick up
adding
20
20.
spots.
Yeah, that's adding 20 more spots though, isn't it? Even if you
Mhm.
just want to go, if you opt in, that's enough. 105 players.
Cause you know, 'cause I don't think I can't remember exactly how it went,
Yeah.
but literally, it's gonna go back to the day and age when the coaches. It's almost like they had. Well, at one point, the coaches over gave out scholarships when they did the signing day. Do you
Hmm.
remember that?
Yep.
Yes.
And what they would do that for is just in case the kid wouldn't leave, but also what they did that was to block certain kids from going other
Mm-hmm.
places.
We go to another team. Yep.
So
Hmm.
guess what you think will happen? You give these outstanding citizens scholarships to hold spots. Hmm?
Yeah. It's gonna
Anyway.
turn into a small mess. I mean, you know, and I mean, the players themselves, they're gonna hold half the cards, and the schools, the way the language is wrote in is written in the
Yeah.
agreements. That's where a lot of these kids they're gonna have to get lawyers to read
Yeah.
those agreements because the schools is going to slide in language that will hold them, that will mess with their eligibility, that will force them to not sign with rival schools and things like that. So all that's coming. You know what I mean? If it's not already a thing, and it's just right now. So a lot of that as well because I mean one kid that's try to play the money game and play the transfer game that gets screwed and it's publicized and the school gonna say, well, we wrote this language in, and
Hmm.
the kid gonna say, well, I didn't see that, but did you read your agreement? Well, no, me and my mama sat at the table and we just signed because we saw the money. It's and man, you know, and I mean, you look at it's happening modern day. I mean, you look at a lot of these unfortunately these athletes and artists that sign bad deals because they put the number in front of them and they hungry, you know,
Yeah,
and they thinking about
yeah.
all the stuff that they can buy versus taking care of their self long term, you know.
And
So
we tend to think that we also tend to think that it's gotten better over the years because quote unquote the kids are more educated and it's very hard for them to end their career without making money. Don't get it twisted. They still getting fucking exploited.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yep.
It's just so
they are.
it's just so happened that the amount of money is so large nowadays that you forget you overstep the exploitation because you like still got a pocket full of money, but they exploit them all the time.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and so, gentlemen, we were talking about this, and you remember I kept saying Division One, Division One, Division One. So, what about the other divisions? What about Division Two, Division Three? I mean, are they just why did they decide to just overlook Division Two and Three when it
I don't
comes to
think
this
they
agreement?
overlook. I think
They
it
looking at the
comes
they
down
looking at
to
the revenue. They're after the
it's the
revenue.
TV. Yeah, it's the TV
It's the
money.
revenue. It's the
It's that
revenue. I
it's
told
that
you. That's
ABC,
why
NBC, Fox money. It's that ESPN
ESPN and
money.
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et
You
cetera. It's
know,
that Disney money.
yeah, yeah,
That's why I'd say even though it might be a
yeah. Now,
minority part of it, but I still say it's more about money. They ain't going down there because guess what?
no, it is about money.
The money is in the first class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about
So
the used
yeah,
car dealerships. I want this new car dealership.
yeah,
You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Now, if you get a school, let's say in basketball, you got a program like U of H that keep on ending up in the Final Four and they're making a name for themselves for
But see,
basketball.
automatically,
Now you can start saying,
but see,
you know,
but see,
you can start
automatically,
looking, putting them in that window.
but
mm,
automatically they are already in that window because
good.
as long as they basically saying anybody that can make the NCAA tournament is subject to the new rules.
Yeah,
Yeah, you Division One.
What the I think what the end goal was and may still be if we can get the quote unquote cornerstones linchpin schools to agree to this,
Hmm.
hmm
the other ones either gotta
everybody else gonna fall in line. They're gonna fall
get
in line.
down or lay down. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna fall in
Which
line.
Yeah.
take
Yep.
which takes me back to 1978 when the NCAA had a lot of meetings and it was the at that time, the power schools, feel like the Texases, Georgias, and all them. They got together, and that's when and I know you're familiar with it, Coy. What was it? They came up with the one double A.
Hmm.
Like you basically had to get in or get out. And there was a lot of schools like Boise State
Yep.
included, FAMU, all these type of schools. They were they had like a X amount of time to decide are they going to jump into this Division One side of things, or if not, you're going to have to jump into the one double A side, which we know now is FCS Division football. So that this is just that new age version of this. Like it's a whole twist to it, but it's still a moment in time here where things are going to change. We're going to have a have and have not in college sports, and I
Money's the
agree with
money, brother.
y'all that it's going to be a moment in time here where it's like other teams going to have to decide, other programs going to decide, hey, are we going to get in or
Get down.
we going to get ran over? And it's only going to be that
Yeah.
first class, that class of teams that's going to basically run all this. Um,
Yeah, and I mean, and it's gonna be the same teams that run it now. I mean, it's just gonna be more magnified.
right.
And then one thing that I can that's probably gonna I wonder if the NCAA is gonna try to play the the GPA game, the SAT game, try to find ways to balance the scales academically as well.
Mm,
Because now you really got money involved, and they got to find a way to regulate the scale so it don't become a monopoly for certain programs.
Herein lies the thing. Pretty much the NCAA, as far as grades, the Prop 48, all that stuff, that's been dead for a long time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, pretty much it hasn't. It is. I'm sure on paper they said there's rules, but pretty much if you in school, you can play, and it's pretty much came down to it's pretty much a situation where it's school to school to school. You follow me?
Yeah, I follow you on that. Yeah.
Because when's the last time you heard of a kid being academically ineligible or Prop 48 or whatever?
Jeez, I can't.
And I'm not talking about
Yeah,
basketball
they
because
don't
basketball's a one and done game.
publicize until yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
don't
ain't that long
publicize
ago.
until after the season, and then it
And they
goes
not
away.
yeah, and they're not even
Yeah,
there in basketball. You not if you're one and done,
yeah.
you're not even there long enough
No.
to get
So
anything. You only there for like a
Yeah.
semester technically.
to be on a
Mm,
Division 1 college football roster or
mhm.
basketball roster, for you to be academically ineligible, you've had to choose to be.
Oh wow. And
Basically,
who's gonna do
yeah,
that?
I mean, literally, because that
they
means
gonna
you
give you
literally
everything you need to
they're
be
gonna give you the tutors, and if the tutors don't work, they're gonna tell you what classes to take.
right.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not. I mean, I don't mean anything like just under. I'm not even. I haven't even got to underhanded stuff. I'm literally saying they're gonna give you tutors to help you with every class you want. And if that don't work, we've all been to college, right?
Yep.
There are free classes in college that all you gotta do is show up and
Show up.
sign your name on the syllabus, and you come out that class. There, you know what I'm
That
saying?
is true.
So,
Yeah.
those are. I mean, you either gonna have tutors or they're gonna line you up with them classes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You may be undeclared after 4 years because you ain't got no curriculum together. But my point remains is you can get through. See?
Yeah. Corey, you still there? Okay. Well, we heard what he.
Yeah, I think his froze,
Yeah,
man.
we heard that what he said on that back end. But when Corey come back, you can go ahead and talk about this now, Red Zone. But all right, these guys signed these deals, air quote, right? Under this under
Mm-hmm.
this twenty
Yep.
million dollars per program this year. So if you pay a
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, let's just use since you're in the state of Texas, let's just use Houston, University
Mm-hmm.
of Houston, and they sign a quarterback, right? Number one rated quarterback in the state, and they sign him to I don't know, let's just say a hundred. We signed $1 million to play this year. So what happens? I mean, is it for year to year, or is it going to be some kind of deal where it's every year, or is it like a 2 year deal, or whatever? Like, what's going to happen when this guy, let's say he decides, hey, I don't really like it here, I want to leave, but they paid him $1 million. I'm curious how that would get
That,
handled.
yeah, but that goes back to that language. Yeah, that goes with with those kids reading those contracts because the school is going to put language in there to saying that they can't just up and leave and into the transfer portal because they're unhappy. They're going to have to, they're going to have to stick it out, and it's not like you can be traded. You know, so that it's going to be language, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be smart. If I'm a player, I'm doing mine year to year. I would not sign a multi-year deal because I want to have say so on who's my coach, who's my training staff. I want to have you want to be able to lock everything down, and you can't do that as a player. So if I'm a player, I'm doing year to year. So once that year end, we got to come back to the negotiation table. Hey, I'm betting on myself because if my numbers is great, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask instead of getting 1 million, I'm asking for 1.3, 1.5. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Why should I?
Or
Why
another
should I?
school, or another school.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell, or another school going to come in and say, hey, we're
Hey,
going to
we
offer
give you
this guy
two.
$3 million. Yeah.
Yeah, three. You see what I'm saying? You see how? And that's what I do. I will play this the long game, and that's the most important way of doing that versus doing a 4-year deal. And the school they got a bargain, you putting up all world numbers, and now you feeling slighted, you know.
Woo.
So yeah, it's gonna get interesting, what I mean. And I think that's where marquee players. even your marginal players, they got to lawyer up. They got to know what's in those agreements. They got to make sure that money, then they got to get it. If I'm a kid, before I tell the field, I want bonus. I want before while I'm signing. You know how the pros get that sign bonus? And
Mm.
dudes is happy. I want something in my account. If I'm signing $1 million deal, I at least want 250,000, if not 350,000 in my account as soon as I sign. And I prorate for the 8 or 9 games, and I want a bowl game bonus if we make it to a marquee bowl game.
Hey man, this turns to the NFL, man.
Yeah, hey man, it is because if you on CBS on Saturday, New Year's Day, you haven't been on there, and then I come to the program. Now we're on there. Dude, I want the money. I want the money. I want the notoriety that it took for me to get that far.
Yeah,
I mean, it only makes sense.
yeah. Corey, if you there, Corey,
Yeah.
what you think about that, man? Player signs this year, recruit big top quarterback. They sign him for $1 million. Is all this stuff gonna be year to year?
Depends on the player. Depends if he got the goods or not. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Mm. And then what about the players, guys? That and y'all know this. Not everybody in any league, whether it's pro or college or high school,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
everybody pans out to be what they were or recruited to be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So what happens on that side of the fence when you pay a player $1 million and then they underperform?
Well, as a program,
Just
you
be
just
you.
kind of bite the
You,
bullet.
you
Hold
just
on one
like
second,
just like
guys.
when the
Yeah,
kids
no problem.
choose to pick these
Congratulations, man. Good
schools.
luck. Yeah, you just kind of up against it. You know, as a school, you just write it off as loss. I mean, that's what any athletic program. I mean, even in pros, they sign these guys, and then these guys get to camp and they hold water. You know, they look like
Yeah.
Tarzan, play like Jane. It's
And,
like,
but see, we're not in the one percenters either when we talking about all these programs. When you add all the programs up now, not just those top 10, but when you add all these programs across the board, like most of these athletes, when they're done, they go into the real world.
yeah,
They don't go to the pros. So it's but they're making professional money. You know,
yeah,
I just think it's an interesting dynamic, man, that we're about to get into
it
here.
is. It is.
All right, well, anything else out dealing with this settlement? Anything else y'all want to chime in, throw in about it? From your perspective, anything we need to look forward to keep an eye on as this matriculates.
Corey might have something. I know he dug in with a lot of the completion, but no, I mean it's pretty straightforward for me.
I tend to think it's going to depend on how much control that the NCAA actually is able to project.
Mm-hmm. Run that back, Corey.
Y'all
No,
hear
run
me?
that back. You said how much it
I
projects.
think
It's going to because of what I think the NCAA is. Hold on, let me try this. The
Okay.
NCAA is out there trying to get back some of this control it has. Can y'all hear me now?
No, we lost
yeah,
you.
you going and out. You fall
Now we can. Yes. Now we
I'm
can hear you.
Okay.
just saying.
All right. I think a lot of this is dealing with the NCAA is trying to spear back back some of the control they have from the players. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
So
so that's what this whole lawsuit's about. It's about I don't lost control, and now I'm trying to figure out a way to how I can be back in charge again. So we'll see because the
yeah.
NCAA, what is it, Mark Emmert or whoever the president it is now,
Mm-hmm.
have lost control. They've literally lost control of the one thing control was the money. Now they can't.
Yeah.
Look, they're not in charge of the championship, the two conferences. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. Because I
So
think me being honest, I think when it's all said and done, it's going to implode on itself, and something else is going to be born out of the whole system.
yeah, and I can see that. I'm going to be curious to see if this does end up being a true have and have nots, and how many programs, uh, start coming out complaining, talking about how, for example, in Ohio State or Georgia or Texas coming in and just taking all the talent. I'm also
You
going to
mean
be
like
curious to see.
like your favorite person did?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. There you go. And then also like what's going to happen with the, as we stated earlier, we're mainly talking about the revenue generating sports that we just talked about. We mainly talk football and basketball, but what about the non revenue sports? How many universities are going to, you know, how many of them are going to lose programs or let other programs go um,
Can't.
in this
Can't.
race?
It's price of doing business, brother. Price of if you can't support all you if you can't support because Title IX is still a thing. So if you
Yeah.
can't support those other sports, because most of the time you have more female sports than male sports on campus, except for the fact that if you have a football team,
Mm-hmm.
because you got to keep the numbers, got to keep up, so percentages got to be right. So
Right.
if you can't
But
afford, it, then you just
mhm.
can't afford it. The game is the game.
Yeah, but like, what about a program like? Yes, you got to, you got to keep some of them, like you're saying, right? But then it's like, well, where else can we shave? Well, are we going to shave off the hockey team? Or are we going to shave off the cross country team? Or I mean, what are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
what are we
hey,
going to do
hey,
with a
hey,
sport here and there?
hey! It is what it is.
Yeah.
You have to you have to decide what your university goals are. Is your university goals is to not offer all those things and just be particularly a football and academics? That's what you choose to do. But
Mm-hmm.
understand, there. I mean, it's. I mean, these are decisions that are made every day anyway. You follow me?
Uh huh.
So
Yeah, I hear.
you just have to make those decisions as a university.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, we're
Because
gonna
I
keep our eye on all of it.
because to be honest with you, for about 60% of those teams out there, for the 60% of those schools out there, football is not football is the program that you don't need, but they choose to keep it because they want football.
Yeah. And what we were talking about, red zone, was,
Before,
oh, who's that? That's
What
red
you say,
zone.
Philly?
go ahead. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like
Well,
crazy.
yeah, they're trying to, NCAA trying not to have us finish this conversation. Yeah, they're trying to keep us from finishing this conversation, but they can't stop us. NCAA can't stop us. But what we were talking about was like a couple of things looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to seeing what universities decide to, what programs they're going to decide to let go over time, if they're going to try
Yeah.
to compete with football, in football and basketball. Uh, they have, if so, there are going to be some schools that cut away some programs, like for example hockey or something. You know what I'm saying, that they're trying to do that, but um, if they're not a big hockey school, by the way, or some other sport.
Yeah.
But like Corey was saying though, you got to be careful with the women's sports because you got to comply with Title IX. So you're already going to be looking to where you can cut corners to kind of still be competitive in football or basketball. And then I'm looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
which teams are going to really be this this elite league over time if this keeps going the way it does. So those are a couple of things I'm looking to
And,
see down the line.
The system is
and I'm
primed for
wondering, the one thing I'm wondering, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
the system is primed for a collapse. It
Yeah.
is. Something else is gonna burst
Yeah.
out of it.
I'm wondering if they I know in college you can't form a union,
Oh,
but they
that's
can
something.
form an association.
Hmm.
They can form an association that protects their interests. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that they'll combat the NCAA. If the
You basically
NCAA retains power, then they can come up with a player association, a collegiate player association for the betterment of all college athletes.
Would they have to
you're basically
You
collectively
know,
saying
bargain?
I think no, they have a antitrust exemption for the NCAA. I think that's what it is. Am I right?
okay. Well,
Mm.
Look
I
it
don't
up.
know. We
But
can ask Wapner, Smith, and Howard.
however, however, just because you got it, you can be taken to court to fight that exemption because
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
NCAA,
that's what I'm
quote
saying.
unquote,
Hey,
the
Wapner, Smith, and
national
Howard gonna find.
was the National Association of College Athletes, whatever it
Hmm.
is actually supposed to be a nonprofit. It's not for profit. However, if they can prove that them meddling around is for profit, then they lose the antitrust exemption.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because if I'm not
and,
mistaken, baseball lost theirs at one point.
and you know
But
what? And you know what, Corey? I gotta throw this out. I wrote it down. This and a part of this agreement also goes back to reimburse people, pay back people from the year 2016. And I'm just like, I don't know why we agree to that. Why would they agree to that when players have been getting robbed, like we said earlier today, for decades? Why are we not going back to decades and decades of this?
because you
Why
have
just 10
to,
years ago?
because you got to draw the line somewhere.
But just 10
Yeah.
years ago?
You got to draw the line somewhere. Because you if you get it gets into a whole another subject about even with reparations, this, that, and the third. It becomes where, who, what, when, where are you going to draw the line? And you can't. You're not. You just
Yep.
the NCAA is not going to bankrupt themselves to get their way.
Mm, very interesting,
Because you
gentlemen.
got to. Because you got to also remember, even when you're dealing with the legislation, you're dealing with Congress, and you're dealing with all these people. College football, not so much basketball anymore, but college football per se is a multi billion-dollar industry,
Yes.
right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Are
Yes,
you willing to bankrupt it
yes, sir.
to get your point across? Because you got to remember, there's still tons of tax revenue. You start getting into,
And
you
that
start
answer
getting
is no.
into, yeah, yeah. You start getting into. We always look at the athletes and the coaches, right? But we forget about the equipment guys. We forget about the people that works the
Hmm.
concession stand. We forget about the guys that cut grass, that do all the
Right,
other stuff. So
right.
when you set your mind to bankrupt something, you understand there's going to be collateral damage. So they probably stopped at 16 to minimize their collateral damage because the NCAA
Yeah.
put this lawsuit in place for their own good. You follow me?
Yeah,
They're the ones that are trying to seek to get some kind of control because they don't realize that with the NIL, when an NIL deal going on, because they would have never wanted to offer these kids any kind of money until the NIL came in place. If the NILs hadn't got passed by Congress, they still wouldn't be trying to pay
yeah,
these kids.
absolutely. All right. Well, we did our hour, man, and we'll get this out there to re-air, put it on all the platforms. Gonna put this on TikTok as well for those who follow on TikTok. Throw it on Instagram as well under Mr. 411, MisterFourOneone. That is on TikTok and Instagram, Mr. 411. Then on YouTube, 411 Sports World Network. So be ready for us to put that on there. Um, it'll be out there today for those who follow those platforms. And I want to thank Philly Red Zone. I want to thank Coy for diving in today with this. And this is just our kickoff. Okay, this was this. You know what? This was more like our uh, this was like our training camp right here, where the guys come in for training camp, and we got our first session in. and now we got games that's going to be played here very soon. So we're going to start diving into these conferences and discuss that as well. And so I want y'all to be ready for that. Now tomorrow evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Got a gentleman coming in from the Nashville News Channel 5. We're going to talk about Tennessee State and the $2.1 billion that they're owed. Speaking of money, we're going to talk about that money that's owed for them to them through land grant funding. And he's going to join us. So that should be interesting tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern Standard. All right, Philly, Coy,
Yes, sir.
final remarks before we roll.
My final remarks, man, is for all the players. Get ready for the NCAA shenanigans. Lawyer up, reach agreements. Make sure you getting as much money as possible. Don't let one program coach, athletic director, your mama, your daddy, anybody shortchange your earning ability while you're an athlete. Because that window, whether you're a collegiate athlete and you're blessed to make it to the pros, it is finite. It is short. You need to amass as much capital and put as much capital away. Invest your money wisely, and stay away from the groupies. So, and that's pretty much my message as a Philly Red Zone.
Thank you,
I
Philly.
tend to agree with him. Find your little 10%, sit it away, and understand something. Look out for your peoples. I don't have no problem with that. But it's not your job to raise people that raise you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Exactly. Amen.
Hey, yes, sir. Let the church say amen on that one. All
Yes,
right.
sir. Amen. Yep.
Peace.
Okay. All right. And I say thank you for joining me. And we're going to do this again.
All
We'll
right.
get
Let me
into
know.
some more detail. We out of here.
Yes, sir. All right. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Later.